guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. But before I jump into the scary stories, I do want to give a big thank you to today's collaboration. So Dossier was kind enough to send me 2 of their perfumes to try out, and they wanted to collaborate with me in one of my videos. So they sent me both of these products to try out. This is a paid sponsorship, so I do want to give you guys a heads up now, just so that you are aware, and I'm completely honest with you guys, that they did send these to me and they are paying me to talk about these products. But everything that I say is going to be my own personal opinion, my own thoughts, and I would never lie to you guys. If I didn't like something, I don't like something. These 2 products, they sent them to me. They are super cute. Packaging is super minimalistic. I'm very excited about that. I don't really like big bulky things, and these are very sleek and very, very adorable. I love the scents that they sent me. They sent me fruity almond and they sent me floral aldehydes. So the floral aldehydes is a scent more that my mom would like. So it reminds me of a perfume that I used to buy her all the time when I was a kid. It is Lang Lang Jasmine, May Rose, and notes of sandalwood, orris, and vetiver. I'm sorry if I'm saying those names wrong. And the fruity almond one is more up my alley. It's orange blossom, tuberose, orias, tonkin bean, vanilla, and cocoa. So this one is a very, very like fruity, kind of like nutty scent, whereas this one is more of a floral scent. I usually do really go for floral scents, but I just strongly prefer this one. This one smells so good. It lasted forever. So I wore it yesterday for about 6 or 7 hours, and when I went to bed last night, I could still smell it. So that is my one gripe with a lot of perfume companies, is you spray perfume on in the morning and by like 10 o'clock, you can't even smell it anymore. That's not the case with these. These are amazing. I'm very excited about that. So they do have a 30-day return policy. So if you have an unopened 50 milliliter bottle that you just don't like and you want to return, you can always just send it back, no questions asked. They are selling classic high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the cost. So both of these bottles were $29 each, which is absolutely crazy because all of my other perfumes that I have in my collections range between like $90 and $100. These ones were only $29. So that's really amazing. I believe that's 29 USD. I'm in Canada, so it would be a little bit more for me, but if you're in the States, it's 29 USD. They have a risk-free system allowing customers to try the perfume before committing. So if they don't like them, they can just send them back. So they are very affordable. They are designer scents. They range between like $29 and $280 depending on the scent that you get, but both of the scents that I tried are $29 each, so I absolutely love it. They have great bulk deals on their website, so if you get 3 bottles, they will give you a 25% discount, and they're always adding new scents and always looking for feedback. So if you do try their products and you love them or you hate them, they're definitely interested in knowing what your opinion was. So thank you so much for Dossier for collaborating with me. This is very exciting. This is my very first paid collaboration. I'm very excited. So thank you so much again, and let's jump into the spooky video. All right, so I have a bunch of scary stories from Reddit and Instagram and just all over the place. So I'm gonna jump into the stories. The first one that I'm gonna read is from the True Scary Story section, and it's from the Reddit author Evelyn Wayne 23, and it's titled My First Paranormal Experience. Everything began when I was 4. The house that I lived in was my aunt's house. Wasn't by any means haunted. It was more like I was the one who was haunted. It was around 7 p.m. and everyone was in the kitchen and all the lights had been turned off, except for, of course, the kitchen light. I grew bored, so I decided to go play with my toy car out in the living room. I didn't turn on any of the lights because there was enough light emanating from the kitchen. I suddenly felt like someone was staring at me, but I just ignored it and I continued playing. A couple minutes later, I decided I had to go to the bathroom, and to do so, I had to walk through a hallway, which seemed to be darker than usual. I was about to turn on the light when a decrepit-looking hand shoots out from the hallway frame, holds up its index finger, and wagged it, as if saying no. At that moment, I didn't feel scared, so I got a bit closer and I turned on the light. When I did, I saw a demon-like face. I locked eyes with it, and it slowly put its finger to its mouth in a shushing motion. Okay, fuck that, I would leave. It was only then that a wave of panic hit me and I ran towards the kitchen screaming. When my aunt went back to check, along with my cousins, they didn't see anything. From that point forward, paranormal things have happened to me no matter where I go. I don't know who this demon or where it came from was. I don't know why it's attached itself to me. I have been told that it might have gotten attached because of all the negativity that I've experienced at such a young age. No one may believe this story, but if you do, please send your thoughts and opinions on what I should do. And that's how they ended the story. So, I don't know, go talk to a medium, go talk to a priest, go talk to somebody that can hopefully help you, because that's terrifying. If something was like in the dark and like shushed me, I would nope out of that situation so quickly. I get it, you were like really young when this happened, but like what the fuck? That's terrifying. No, thank you. So thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. I don't have any opinions on what you should do, but hopefully someone in the comment section can give them some advice because that's freaking scary. Oh my God. So the next one that I want to read is from the Spoopy Cjades section, and it's from the Reddit author Upsetty, and this one's titled Home Invasion Using Bricks. Back when I was in high school, I slept in my room on the east side of the house. I never used to shut my bedroom door. That would be scarier than having it closed and not knowing what was on the other side. I also slept with a light on as I had a fear of the dark. I woke up to a weird noise that night, but I figured it was just the house creaking. We had these wooden stairs that weren't very well made, covered in a thin carpet, and they would creak when the place cooled down at night. It was midsummer, so it was especially common around this time. I went back to sleep for less than 10 minutes before my mom came in to tell me that there had been someone in our house. The noise I heard was actually someone walking up the stairs on the west side near my mother's bedroom. In order to get into the study and our game room, it was a small lofted area without a door that had a couple of consoles and my PC. He had jumped our electric fence and crow-bared the back door and the gate just to steal my Nintendo Wii. The worst part of it was that his BO actually woke my mom up from her sleep. He made the whole house reek for 3 days. No matter how long we tried to air the house out, it still smelled like BO. Anyways, the police never found him, but suspected that he had been watching our house for a few weeks in order to case it, watching us through the window of our games room, which you could see from the street. They also piled bricks outside the fence to display to other criminals the number of people and the genders of occupants. We were told to remove the items from the game room and put them in a room that didn't face the road. They never looked at the CCTV in the area. They never interviewed the security guards that were literally up the street from us. It was kind of a gated community, but not very strict on who was coming into and out of our area. After this had happened, we shut every door in the house at night so that anyone entering the house couldn't tell which rooms were bedrooms, closets, or bathrooms. We also got garden sensors and a better security system. We also got our family dog, a golden retriever named Buddy, the world's friendliest guard dog. Anyways, to the man that made my whole house stink after taking my Nintendo Wii and a few other things, let's never meet again. So that one's obviously not a paranormal story, but that's absolutely terrifying. I almost think that like humans are more scary than paranormal sometimes because like, that's weird. Like they were literally casing your house for days on end and had the number of people that were in your house and the genders, and especially because you guys are in a gated community. What's the point of being in a gated community if it's not secure? Like what the hell? Thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. That is absolutely traumatizing, and I hope that never happens again. So the next one that I want to read is from the True Scary Story section, and it's from the Reddit author The Joiner Carpenter, and this one's titled Working in Creepy Places. I've worked in a fair share of creepy places, but this one takes the top spot. The best way to describe it is an 1800s mansion. This place was huge and very creepy. The sort of place where you don't want to be left alone in. We were doing some renovations in the building, and it was being made into a place that the public could be taken around on tours. And one thing we had to do was block off a door that went to the attic space, which was very unsafe. Inside the attic space was a huge circular glass window that you could see from the main parking area. All the while we were there, we all felt like we were being watched, and occasionally we would hear a bang from the attic space. We assumed it was coming from another part of the building, as there wasn't anything in there that could fall over, and we were blocking up the only way into it. Once we completed the job and loaded our tools into the truck, as we were leaving, I looked up to the building, and there was a woman dressed in all white waving at us. All three of us waved back before realizing she was standing dead center in this circular window in the attic that we had just closed off. We all freaked out and looked back, and there was nothing standing there anymore. So they all saw the lady in white basically standing up in the circular freaking attic that they just blocked off. All three of them. If that's not proof that ghosts are real, I don't know what is, because like, how does three people just like see the exact same thing if ghosts aren't real? Holy crap. You guys, that's terrifying. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. That's so creepy. Where is this place? I'm curious, because if it's gonna be open for the public to go on tours, they should be aware that it's haunted. The next story that I want to read is from the True Scary Story section again, and it's from the Reddit author G_cat, and it's titled this wasn't my sister. I've experienced many odd and unexplainable events in my life, but this event has been on my mind for a few years now, and I've finally decided to tell it. And pray I'm not the only one who's experienced something like this. So let's start from the beginning. I graduated from high school in 2019 and was promoted to a supervisor for a kitchen in a nursing home down the street. Since I oversaw dinner, I didn't work until about 3:30 p.m. and would get home around 10 p.m. So for the first half of the day, I would be completely home alone. I enjoyed that time. Solitude was always nice, especially when you're as introverted as I am. Normally, I would sleep in until about noon. By this time, I decided to relax on the couch in our main living room and watch Kitchen Nightmares. I remembered nodding off and falling into a light sleep, so any small noise would wake me up. The first time, I cracked my eye open and I would just see my cats jumping on me. When I felt the cushion by my feet dip, I figured it was just my cat. After a moment, I opened my eyes and I realized my younger sister was sitting at the end of the couch, her back to me. I was half asleep, so I really didn't think much of it. I figured she'd just stay home from school sick. I just asked her if she could move her head so I could see the TV. She ignored me. Still facing the TV screen, annoyed, I asked her why she was home. Once again, she remained silent. Coming to the conclusion that she was just being rude, I closed my eyes and I fell back asleep. After about an hour, I got up and I started to get ready for work, and I noticed my sister wasn't in the living room or in the house. Concerned, I called her. After trying to call her a few times and getting nothing, I called my mom. She picked up and I asked her if my sister told her where she was going. My mother was confused and asked me what I was talking about. She had dropped my sister off at school before going to work. My sister was at her school the entire time. I was shocked and I hung up and I kept this to myself, convinced I was just losing my mind, that this was all in my head. But I remember that moment so vividly. What my sister was wearing, how she was sitting, how I felt a shift in the couch when she sat down. This wasn't a dream. This was real. It had to be. There was something in my house with me that morning, and it was not my sister. And then they continued because a lot of people apparently wanted to know what else was going on. And they said, I kept this experience to myself. As a kid, I had what my parents called a very active imagination, always seeing things, hearing things, and being very easily spooked. So I think it got to the point where I just convinced myself this whole experience didn't happen and that there was some rational explanation. It actually took me a few years to tell my little sister about it. Once again, mostly out of fear of being perceived as crazy, and I didn't want to scare my sister. But something she said to me changed my mind. This takes place in September 2022. My sister and I were waiting in line for a ride at a local amusement park. Every year, my dad's work would rent out the whole park for employees and their families. We spent most of the day together as a family, but about an hour before closing, my sister and I went back to the park to ride some night rides. So it was just the two of us, and the waiting was getting terribly boring. My sister and I aren't very close and don't have much in common, so we kind of struggled to have a conversation. And for the most part, we just stood in silence. But out of the blue, she spoke up, and she asked me if I wanted to hear something freaky. As a lover of all things spooky, this caught my attention. So I immediately said yes. And as a part of me wishes I said no. My sister is a night owl, and over the summer would stay up until about 6 a.m. And I just started working at a different job after quitting my nursing home position. I was starting to go to bed around 12 a.m. every night, and I would be up around 10. So she would be the only one awake. One night, she noticed light coming from the crack in her bedroom door, and she heard both my voice and my mom's voice talking. Only it was hard to understand, as if we were either speaking too quickly or just complete gibberish. She quickly grabbed her phone, checking the time, and her confusion only grew when she noted it was 3 a.m. What were we doing awake? Sometimes my mom and I would go to the front window if the weather was bad enough during the night and keep an eye on the storm, or if there were sirens. We both have a habit of being very nosy. So she figured that's what was going on. After a few minutes, she could still hear the voices and still see the light. She got curious, so she got out of bed and opened her bedroom door and rushed into the hall expecting to see my mom and me by the window talking. Only that's not what she saw. There was no lights on. It was completely dark, besides the illumination from her phone screen, and there was no one in sight. Not her mother, not me. She turned to my bedroom door thinking I was messing with her. She opened my door, and I was asleep with both of our cats. She goes back into the hall. My mom and my dad's bedroom door is also shut. She peeks in there, and both of them are sleeping. Now, my sister is a rational person. She was always the one to go into the basement first, tell the others that monsters and ghosts aren't real. So she completely pushed this event out of her mind, because in her eyes, it wasn't a big deal. Maybe she was just overtired, or her grandfather's TV downstairs was a bit too loud, and that's what she had heard. But, like my own experience, this kind of sat at the back of her head, and the house grew a little bit less comfortable. She mentioned how after that, she felt like there was always someone watching, as if they were tucked in a corner just observing her. She wasn't scared out of her mind, but a bit confused. When she told me this, I got a pit in my stomach. I had the chills, and I laughed at first because we were in public and I didn't want to scare her. So we went on the ride, and for the remaining time at the park, we just pushed the conversation on the back burner. On our way to meet up with our parents, we started talking about it again, and I finally told her about what had happened to me, how I saw her at home that day, spoke to her, and could remember what she wore. That was the first time I saw my sister get genuinely scared. I wasn't home, she kept saying. What do you think it was then? We still don't know. We don't know if we want to know. The only thing we are sure of is there is something in our house. And that's how they end of the stories. Holy crap. Both of those were really good. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. I kind of understand what it feels like to be like unnerving in your house, because like I'm home alone a lot of the time because my boyfriend works out of town, and like any little noise I hear, I'm like, oh my God, there's a ghost. So I kind of get it, but I've never actually experienced like seeing a doppelganger in my house or seeing an entity that is like mimicking something else or trying to mimic something in your house. That's so scary. I hope you guys like sage your house or something, or get a priest, or get something to come in there and figure out if you have an entity, because that's so creepy. But thank you so much for allowing me to read your stories. If anybody has any comments that you guys want to share with the authors of what they should do, let us know in the comments down below. If you guys have any opinions or any advice on how to get rid of these entities that are clearly bothering these people, let us know in the comments down below. This is where I'm going to end the video because we are already at the 20-minute mark. So thank you so much again to Dossier for collaborating with me. If you guys are interested in any of their scents, I will list them down below. I will have all the information for Dossier in my description box, so you guys can definitely go check them out. I'm very, very excited that they reached out to me and wanted to work with me. That is so amazing. This is my first paid collaboration, so I am so freaking excited. I just want to be completely transparent with you guys. I really do love these scents. They smell amazing, and I'm very excited to continue using them. They smell so good and they're so affordable. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have any spooky stories, any scary stories, any let's not meet stories in general that you guys want to share with me and you want me to read on the channel, please feel free to message me on Instagram or send me an email, and I will definitely read them if they are appropriate for the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys made it to the end of the video, leave me your favorite Halloween emoji in my comment box down below, and I will make sure I respond to everybody, or at least give you guys a heart back. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye!